Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaur Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Radhanath Radha, Radhanath Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. श्री राधा राधानाथ की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, शिल प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमनंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। हरे कृष्ण। So we continue to relish this part of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 6, text 31, 32 and 33. Vaidurya krita sopana vapya utpala malinihi praptam kim purusher drishtva ta arad dratrishurvatam. They also saw that the bathing ghats and the staircases were made of Vaidurya money. The water was full of the lotus flowers. Passing by such lakes, the demigods reached a place where there was a great banyan tree. So we are carrying on trying to read and understand Kailash, or the abode of Lord Shiva. Now in this verse it is mentioned here okay, the Vaidurya money. We heard of Kastuba money, we heard of Shamantaka money, but the Vaidurya money. So Vaidurya money is also mentioned in Canto 10, Chapter 3, text number 9 and 10. Tam adbhutam balakam ambhujekshanam chaturb. Tam adbhutam balakam ambhujekshanam chaturbhujam shankha gadadi udayudham shivatsalakshmam galasobhi Kostubham Pitambaram Sadra Payoda Sobhayam Maharaha Vaidurya Kirita Kundala Udama Kanchi Angada Kankanadibhir Virochamanam Vasudeva Aikshata Vasudeva. So in this verse, the translation is as follows: Vasudeva then saw the newborn child who had very wonderful lotus-like eyes and who bore in his four hands the four weapons Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. On his chest was the mark of Srivatsa, and on his neck was a brilliant Kastuba gem. Dressed in yellow, his body blackish like a dense cloud, his scattered hair fully grown, and his helmet and earrings sparkling uncommonly with a valuable gem Vaidurya money. The child, decorated with a brilliant belt, armlets, bangles and other ornaments, appeared very wonderful. So the Vaidurya gem, which appears bluish, sometimes yellow and sometimes red, is available in Vaikuntha. The Lord's helmet and earrings were decorated with this particular gem, and it is the shape of a cat eye. So text 32. Sayojana shasto se dataha Padona vitapayataha paryak krichachala chahyo nirdidas tapa varjita. Translation: that banyan tree was 800 miles high, and its branches spread over 600 miles around. The tree cast a fine shade which permanently cooled the temperature. Yet there was no noise of birds. Whereas here in our trees there's plenty of birds. Thousands. Generally, in every tree there are bird nests, and the birds congregate in the evening and create noise. But it appears that this banyan tree was devoid of nests and therefore it was calm, quiet, and peaceful. There were no disturbances from the noise or heat, and therefore this place was just suitable for meditation. So now we go on 33. We can read together. Tasmin, can repeat? Tasmin Mahayogamanye Mumukshu Sharane Suraha Dadrishu Shivam Asinam Tyaktamarsham Ivantakam Tasmin Maya Yogamaye Tasmin Mahayogamaye Mumukshu Sharane Sura Mumukshu Sharane Suraha Dadrishu Shivam Asinam Dadrishu Shivam Asinam Tyaktamarsham Ivantakam Tyaktamarsham Ivantakam Tasmin Mahayogamaye Mumukshu Sharane Sura Dadrishu Shivam Asinam Tyaktamarsham Ivantakam. Please read. Tasmin Mahayogamaye Mumukshu Sharane Sura Dadrishu Shivam Asinam Tyaktamarsham Ivantakam. Mataji's. Tasmin Mahayogamaye Mumukshu Sharane Suraha Dadrishu Shivam Asinam Tyaktamarsham Ivantakam. Tasmin, under the tree, Mahayogamaye, having many sages engaged in meditation on the Supreme, Mumukshu, of those who desire liberation, Sharane, the shelter, Suraha, the demigods, Dadrishu, so, Shivam, Lord Shiva, Asinam, seated, Tyakta Amarsham, having given up anger, Eva, as Antakam, eternal time. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The demigods saw Lord Shiva sitting under that tree which was competent to give perfection to mystic yogis and deliver all people. As grave as time eternal, he appeared to have given up all anger. Purport: in this verse, the word Mahayogamaye is very significant. Yoga means meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, And Mahayoga means those who engage in devotional service of Vishnu. Meditation means remembering Smaranam. There are 9 different kinds of devotional service, of which Smaranam is one process. The yogi remembers the form of Vishnu within his heart. Thus, there are many devotees engaged in meditation on Lord Vishnu under the big banyan tree. The Sanskrit word Maha is derived from the affix Mahat. The affix is used when there is a great number or quantity. So Mahayoga indicates that there were many great yogis and devotees meditating on the form of Lord Vishnu. Generally, such meditators are desirous of liberation from material bondage, and they are promoted to the spiritual world, to one of the Vaikunthas. Liberation means freedom from the material bondage and nations. In the material world, we are suffering like life after life because of our bodily identification, and liberation is therefore freedom from that miserable condition of life. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya cha kripa sindhubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Shri Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Tasmin Mahayogamaye Mumukshu Sharane Suraha Dadrishu Shivam Asinam Tyakta Marsham Ivantakam. The demigod saw Lord Shiva sitting under that tree, which was competent to give perfection to mystic yogis and deliver all people, as grave as time eternal. He appeared to have given up all anger. So this verse, it is clearly stating here about meditation. Srila Prabhupada in the purport explains very nicely about Mahayogamaye. Prabhupada says it is very significant. Yoga means meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Lord Shiva is meditating on Lord Vishnu. He is a topmost Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam yatha sambho. So he is sitting in Kailash under this huge and big tree, banyan tree, and he is meditating on Vishnu. So Prabhupada in the purport, he continues, he says, meditations mean remembering, smaranam. Further he explains there are 9 different kinds of devotional service, of which smaranam is one process. the yogi remembers the form of Vishnu within his heart. Thus, there were many devotees engaged in meditation on Lord Vishnu under that big banyan tree. So, as we know in the pastimes of teachings of Prahlad Maharaj from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter number 5, text number 23 and 24, it goes as follows: Shri Prarada Uvacha Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktische Navalakshana. Nava means 9. Kriyeta Bhagavati Adha Tanmanye Dhitam Uttammara. So Prahlad Maharaj, he has said, hearing and chanting about the transcendental holy name, form, qualities, paraphernalia, and pastimes of Lord Vishnu, remembering them, serving the lotus feet of the Lord, offering the Lord respectful worship with 16 types of paraphernalia, offering prayers to the Lord, becoming His servant, considering the Lord one's best friend, and surrendering everything unto Him. In other words, serving His body, mind, serving with body, mind, and words. These 9 processes are accepted as pure devotional service. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired knowledge. As Bhagavad Gita says also, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante Vasudev Sarvaiti Samahatma Shudurlabha. That after going through many birth and death and birth, when millions maybe, when one come to the understanding that Vasudev, the son of Vasudev, Vasudev Sarvamiti, means Lord Krishna is a cause of all causes, a source of all spiritual and material world, then he surrenders to Krishna and starts by hearing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, because hearing is the most important. If you don't hear properly, then we don't make progress very well. We don't make steady progress. And hearing is very important part. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, when he is giving the divine knowledge of to Arjuna, then every time, several verses it goes, Tat Shrinu. A few words of Sanskrit he repeats in Bhagavad Gita. Tat Shrinu Uttishta Parantapa Yudhaya Nishchaya. Tat Shrinu means kindly hear. Again and again he repeats on several verses. Tat Shrinu means hear. And Uttishta Parantapa means wake up, O subjugated enemies, and do your duty as a Kshatriya to fight. So this is what Bhagavad Gita also repeats several times. So hearing is very important. That's why we practice every morning chanting our japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And every week we are studying about nectar of instructions, and we learn again and again. We are reminded that utsahan is very important. Enthusiasm, one of the main ingredients in our chanting. Utsahan nishchay dhairyat. We must be very patient and try to work out our chanting. This is because this chanting brings you hearing, the art of hearing, and then remembering Shravanam, Kirtanam. And Kirtanam means repeating these 16 words, 16 names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, constantly. And this is how we build our Krishna consciousness stronger and stronger, and grow and progress. If we don't pay attention to our chanting, and if we don't chant properly, then we will have a lot of problems, a lot of difficulties, because this is where the process of purification starts. In Bhagavad Gita, also Lord Krishna explains Dhyana Yoga in this 6th chapter. And we heard also from Raghunath Prabhu yesterday, a lot of Shri Radha Radhanath ki, that the Dhyan Yoga, Lord Krishna explains the whole process of Dhyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, how to sit on a deer skin, kusha grass, straight, and meditating on the tip of the nose, and then focusing on the Paramatma form of the Lord, and doing the Ashtanga, means 9 processes, Yam, Niyam, Asana, Dharana, etc. So after this is explained to Arjuna, Arjuna says very clearly to Krishna that it is very difficult process, because the mind is chanchala and flickering, and it is very, very difficult to control the mind. Then Lord Krishna, he concludes the 6th chapter of Dhyan Yoga by saying to Arjuna, Yoginam api sarvesham madgater antaratmana shadavan bhajate yomam same yuktatam mataha. Means among all the yogis, one who is always chanting the glories of the Lord, meditating on the beautiful form of the Lord, and engage always in his pastimes, hearing about his pastimes, then he is a topmost yogi. And when Lord Krishna opens the 7th chapter, which is the absolute of the knowledge of the absolute, then he says to Arjuna, Mai ashaktamana partha yogam yunjam madashraya ashamshayam samagramam yatha gyasasi tachrinu. Again Lord Krishna is saying tachrinu to Arjuna. So he says that the Supreme Personality of God has said, now here, O son of Prita, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. But it starts with by saying, hear. So hearing is very important. And in the purport, Prabhupada has quoted several verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shinvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridiyantastho hiya bhadrani vidunoti surit satam nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tadarajastamo bhava kamalobha dayaschaye Chetayeteranharvidham sitam sadve prasiddhati evam prasana manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate vidhyate hridaya grantis chidhyante sarva samshaya shiyante chasya karmani drista evatmanishware. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures and to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best-wishing friend, and purifies a devotee who constantly engage in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in devotional service of the Lord By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avarice are diminished. Even these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus Bhakti Yoga severes the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once at the stage of Ashamshayam, Samagram, understanding the Supreme Absolute Truth, Personality of Godhead. This is from Canto 1, Chapter 2, text number 17 to 21. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna and from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna. So this is what we are trying to practice. But a lot of us, we get a lot of difficulties on our journey, on our process of practicing. Then Prabhupada has given us very nicely the 10 offenses to be avoided, which we recite every morning, but we for years and years, but we have understood very less. Because if you understand these 10 offenses very well, then our quality of chanting improves, and our appreciation for everything that Prabhupada has gifted us, it grows daily. Appreciating devotees, appreciating the facilities we have got to practice Krishna consciousness, especially the association of devotees. Sometimes we take it very cheaply, that we have to work very hard, because association of devotees, without the association of devotees, it becomes difficult to even chant our japa. It becomes difficult to relish and read the Srila Prabhupada books, etc. So what it does, the process of hearing, if you hear and practice and develop the art of hearing, which starts from hearing the Mahamantra that we do in our japa, then everything falls in place and we move forward in spite of many difficulties that come in front of us. Like we experienced the COVID time, it was one of the toughest times that we have experienced. And here Durban, we devotees experienced the social unrest that happened, the disturbance that brought a lot of uncertainty, a lot of doubts, a lot of fear. So this happens to test us, to see how much we are understood Krishna consciousness, how much we are sincere. When in these difficult times we are tested, we are put in situation, and to see how we react and how we face these difficulties. Yes, on Padayatra, sometimes it was a very easy time when we move on foot, walking around India. But a lot of time we face very extreme situations where it was very tough and very, very difficult. But then the devotees kept going, and in spite of cold, heat, and in spite of any kinds of difficulties, so like one time we were walking through Kerala. It's a beautiful state of India, and when we left Tamil Nadu, when we walked from Kanyakumari, we went to Adikeshava temple, where Lord Chaitanya got this Brahma Samhita from, and then we went to Trivandrum. Then we didn't realize it became rainy season, and it was the most difficult time we endured on this Padayatra. Practically every day it was raining. Kerala is a state When you enter Trivandrum, is a temple of Lord Padmanabha, Ananta Padmanabha, Lord Vishnu. So when we walked through these rural areas and through the towns and cities of Kerala, practically every day it was raining and raining and raining. Sometimes we just walked a little bit, wait, walked a little bit, wait, and on the journey our bulls became sick also, I remember, and we had to find transport to take them ahead some 50 to 100 kilometers to a devotee's farm to take care of them, and we are on the road, and those days devotees came very less, a lot of them left. We were down to 15 devotees, and it was difficult. And usually on Padayatra, 2-3 devotees stay behind with all our tractor and our equipments. They cook the breakfast and they come. And they used to join us. So because we came very less devotees, that difficult time of our journey, so some devotees, so we will wait. Every day the prasadam breakfast will be late. And we will walk. Usually prasadam used to come by 10 o'clock. And on the road we used to find a place to stop. Either it is a person's yard or a hall or a school, any place. But unfortunately it was raining, so we had to always look for shelter. So the prasadam sometimes it come 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. And I was, so we will always buy bananas on the road, and sometimes we used to buy biscuits to eat, to keep on going. And Kerala has most varieties of bananas. One banana is a bit purple, reddish color, very, very, very tasty and very sweet. And they make a lot of preparations for offering to the Lord with banana, and coconut oil is used a lot. So we used to eat things on the road and used to carry on. One day, unbelievable, there was a devotee from Rajasthan, Gangadhar Das. We waited for breakfast. We reached our destination around 1 o'clock. We parked our cart, we parked our bull. The breakfast hasn't come yet. 2 o'clock the breakfast came. 2 o'clock. This devotee is from Rajasthan. So he brought 12 varieties of rice. He made a feast of rice. Varieties of sweet rices, varieties of salty, all very tasty. He was very unique on our Padayatra because he used to always leave us. He used to go to Nathdwar, and he used to bring a lot of varieties of prasadam from Nathdwarji, and a lot of time he used to give us little, and he used to keep a big stock for himself. And the prasadam used to become a bit days, like 15 days. He used to put them in the sun and dry them, and he used to eat every day. So, but my point I was making, it was one of the very tough time. So one day, one American devotee, his name was Upendra, he used to make advance arrangement. And a lot of time the people will speak Malayalam. Some people speak English, but a lot of time Malayalam. So he went in a temple, in a Hindu hall, and he made arrangement. He spoke his English, and the person spoke in a little bit English, more Malayalam. So then he came back. Then the next day we walked. Those days we didn't have even gas bottle to cook our breakfast, so we our cook was, after walking for I think 20 kilometers, he brought everything down and organized the cooking. We started to put our baggage, very tired from the weather and from walking and distributing books also, distributing Charanamrit, doing kirtan. Anyway, we reached a place and then we were trying to relax a little bit on our thin mattresses, and then we were about to go and take shower from the well, from the pull the water. It was difficult. Then one of the main leader of that organization came. He said, "Who has given you permission to come here?" So he was so angry with us, and he asked us to leave immediately. And everybody was so depressed and confused and don't know what's going on. Then finally we understood that the proper permission was not given from the head of that organization. And this country is a communist country, so people are different. So unfortunately we had to pack up everything and leave. But fortunately in this most difficult time, Krishna appeared and helped us. The neighbors who were volunteered to give us places, they gave us place to stay and to carry on our preaching and doing our things, preparing for the evening program. So like this, there was very difficult times where it was very extreme, and because Padayatra means every day you had to move out. But a lot of time we had Mangalarti in the open air, and so it was very interesting. And but one thing I realized, in this very austere situation, very difficult situation, chanting become very easy, and it is not a struggle, because as we become very comfortable in our environment, in our day-to-day life, then our chanting becomes a little difficult. So that's why the verse that says very nicely here, and Prabhupada also stressed in the purport about the 9 processes of devotion. Prabhupada continues here in the purport. The Sanskrit word Maha is derived from the affix Mahat. The affix is used when there is a great number of quantities. So Maha Yoga indicates that there were many great yogis and devotees meditating on the form of Lord Vishnu. Generally, such meditators and desirous of liberation from material bondage, and they are promoted to the spiritual world, to one of the Vaikunthas. Liberation means freedom from material bondage or nations. In the material world, we are suffering life after life because of our bodily identification. And liberation is freedom from that miserable condition of life. So we have seen many situations. Like yesterday, the discussion was a lot about practicing Krishna consciousness in an environment where there is a lot of good association, quality association, but also by performing tapasya. Tapasya exists in different forms in our organization. Tapasya doesn't mean that you have to drop everything now, you have to go only to Vrindavan or to Himalaya to perform tapasya. But tapasya means even going out from the ashram and going to distribute books, going out doing Harinam and facing all the discomforts, leaving ashram and going out and trying to approach people is also tapasya. And many form tapasya devotees face when they go out on traveling especially, and living the comfortable life in ashram, in monastery. And then also there is a lot of things, difficulty that face. Here another verse of Bhagavatam that says very nicely, that we discussed yesterday also with Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu. Tapasa brahmacharyena samena cha damena cha tyagena satya shochabhyam yamena niyamena va dehavag buddhijam dhira dharmagya shadhayanvitaha shipanti agham mahad api venu gulmam ivanalaha. To concentrate the mind, one must observe a life of celibacy and not fall down. One must undergo the austerity of voluntarily giving up sense enjoyment. One must then control the mind and senses. Give charity, be truthful, clean, and non-violent. Follow the regulative principles and regularly chant the holy name of the Lord. Thus, a sober and faithful person who knows the religious principles is temporarily purified of all sins performed with this body, words, and mind. These sins are like the dried leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo tree which may be burnt by fire, although their roots remain to grow again at the first opportunity. Yes. So, celibacy, of course, is verse, and yesterday also we discussed brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is a very powerful word. We are trying to practice celibacy and be a selfless servant in the movement of Srila Prabhupada, in this beautiful and wonderful movement of Srila Prabhupada. At brahmacharya, we try, because in due course of our life, a lot of time, thoughts comes, which, like yesterday we discussed about dhyayatu vishaya pumsan sangaste supajayate. Sometimes we fall in a situation where we start to contemplate on the object of sense gratification. So attachment and lust, all the things develops. So this is where Raghunath Prabhu also explained we have to be like a tortoise, and we have to pull, even try to this practice. It doesn't mean that it will not happen even if we have practiced 20 years, 30 years, or 40 years, or in Krishna consciousness, or 50 years. Yeah, we must be very careful, don't become lenient and slack and lethargic, and try to keep up with our practice. Is the more we practice more seriously and hear attentively, as we have discussed earlier in this verse, and remember Krishna and do with chanting properly, then more and more things will naturally fall in place. Otherwise, we will face problem. Even we live in Krishna consciousness for even 30, 40 years, we still may face difficulty. We may be attracted to temptations, and we may be still get carried away and get involved into unfavorable things that comes like it really damages our bhakti kripa, our progress in our Krishna consciousness. So we have all facilities, everything is available in front of us, but it is very amazing, we still sometimes get into situation when we fall into Maya and we lose our taste. This is very, very interesting. Prabhupada has given us all this ample amount of facilities and all these very relishable books, all this knowledge, everything is given to us, but yet somehow or other sometimes we slip out and we fall and we got a big knock and then we are shaken up and we try to get up and continue, because as we have understood from this verse, and Prabhupada, he has quoted very nicely in this purport, meditation and chanting, hearing, he has stressed all these 9 processes of devotional service that we have to attentively and lovingly follow. Yes, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Sparanam. Shravanam, who perfected his life, became very self-realized through Shravanam. Is it Parikshit Maharaj, no? Shravanam. And Kirtanam, of course there are many devotees, but is Shukadev Goswami. Smaranam, Prahlad Maharaj. So Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Lakshmi Devi. Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Prithu Maharaj. Vandanam, Akrura. That is easy. Dasyam and Sakhyam. Atmanivedanam, Bali Maharaj. So, yeah. So, thank you very much. Today we go with this, from this verse, we remember, through that our day, we can remember that Prabhupada has stressed in this purport all these 9 processes of devotion. Especially he has stressed here because this verse speaks about smaranam, hearing and remembering and chanting. Hare Krishna. Is there any comments, any question? Yes. Yeah. Oh.
You should write a book about you. Very interesting.
We will try in due course of time.
Well, if it's all forgotten. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Any other comment? Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Svetadvipa Prabhu. Thank you for the class. Oh, thank you for the class. It's really nice. I was just wondering, it seems many devotees got so much benefit from going on Padayatra and undergoing these austerities. Do you think it holds the same benefit nowadays, seeing India has changed so much? And do you think it's practical to do something like that, going on Padayatra?
Yes, Padayatra is still going on. The different time, different devotees state, they have different groups of devotees still going on. The most interesting thing is that I share something today before we end our program. Of course, we have devotees performing austerities everywhere in the world, here also. We have, like in Chapati temple, very interesting. I stayed some time there in the Radhanath Swami temple. The devotees have a small space to sleep, small box cupboard to put their luggage, and when in the morning, when it's before Mangalarti, you can see they're up very early, most of them, like many other temples, but there is a very special environment. They are running very fast for Mangalarti, because if they are late, they have some kind of punishment they are given. And yeah, that time when I was there, many devotees running But they have a very small place to just to sleep and to wake up and to, yeah. So different places they have a different way of doing their tapasya. But when it becomes very nice, many devotees have gone through a lot of good and hard times. But when there is a association of devotees, when there is a group of devotees, then when you're doing all these austerities and penances, it becomes easy. Even it is very, very tough. So on Padayatra we had about 40, 50, sometimes 70 devotees. And sometimes as every year we organize parikramas, Praja Mandal Parikrama or Navadip Mandal Parikrama. There also you get a taste of leaving your room, your place where you function from your ashram, your comfort, and you join for the going through this whole parikrama, Braja Mandal or Navadip Mandal Parikrama. And by going walking, sometimes barefoot in the Braja Dham, all the 12 forests, then when you hear the classes, when you hear and you go on the place of the pastimes, it becomes so nice and relishable and so sweet to listen to all these pastimes. So Padayatra is still going on. And you see, every acharya that came on this planet, they had one part of the mission was to walk all over India. Whether it was Shankaracharya, whether it was Madhvacharya, whether it was Ramanujacharya, all these great saints, they walked. In our Gaudiya Vaishnavam also, Nityananda Prabhu, he walked all over. And when he left Ekachakragram. But Prabhupada actually, Srila Prabhupada, he had a very strong desire to walk also, because he was one of the very great acharya that came, and he traveled all over the world 14 times. He circumambulated the planet, and he used to do his morning walk. But towards the end, he had a very strong desire. So they took him on parikrama in his palanquin, but also he instructed his disciples and that they must go on bullock cart, village to village, to small towns also, and spread Krishna consciousness. Because those days they were organizing bus Sankirtan program, and city preaching, building temples, etc. But Prabhupada's desire was very special and very unique, that fulfilled by several devotees, especially by Lokanath Swami Maharaj, in such a way that the Padayatra is still going on. We started in September, on the 3rd of September, Radha Astami from Dwarka Dham in Gujarat. That time I was not there. They walked, about 200 devotees, with bullocks, camel. There was camel at that time. There was big elephant called Lakshmi, was walking in the front. So they came from Dwarka, all these devotees, Jayapataka Swami, all of them. And they walked all over South India, came to Orissa, then they reached in 1986 for Gaur Purnima, to celebrate the 500 years anniversary of the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Mayapur. It was a very successful program. There was devotees from all over India, especially Gujarat, because the Padayatra started in Gujarat. So, and then and devotees from all over the world. Jayadvaita Swami was there, Jayapataka Swami, Lokanath Swami, and many other Swamis. But when they came to Mayapur, then Jayapataka Swami took the deity, put them, when you go in Mayapur, on the Prabhupada Bhajan Kutir, I don't know now how it is, but on the left there was Prabhupada Bhajan Kutir. There they worship the deity of Padayatra, Nitai Gaur-Sundar. But then Lokanath Swami wanted to continue this Padayatra. So imagine it started in 84, today we are 2022, it's still going on. Right now the Padayatris are in the Himalayas. So this is the opportunity, program like this, it encourages young students, celebrate, who want to dedicate their life for remain celibate and do selflessly service for Krishna, make it easy. Because this is a very special program to perform austerities also and to move, and it's a complete program because we used to have 4:30 exactly Mangalarti, do our Tulsi Puja, and 6 o'clock or 6:30 we used to be on the road finishing our japa, distributing books, distributing prasadam, doing kirtan, and then moving from place to place. So we didn't have a fixed room and nothing. A lot of time we had to pull water from the well, or we used to go in the center of the village where there's a hand pump. We used to get the water from there. And so it was rain, cold, heat, you're out there. But the fun was, we were a group of devotees who were very sincere, very dedicated. And that time nobody had any time to think of any maya or material things. It was like this verse says, tapasya. So this is, it enriches, it nourishes your devotion and make you very strong, make you very firm, solid, and you can move years after years in Krishna consciousness and nothing will change. What we have to stress a lot on, how to train and educate and make some kind of species that we discussed yesterday also, that will start Krishna consciousness and ends after 60 years or 80, 70 years with the same mood, with the same strong enthusiasm of being selfless and being very dedicated, very sincere. And this is how we want, because of course we appreciate very much devotees come, they join, and they go, and after some years they go settle in Grihastha life, which is very good, is going well. Several devotees, they go and take to Grihastha life, which is also tapasya, which is not easy life also, raising children and practicing Krishna consciousness at the same time, doing service in the ashram, in the temples and the congregation. This is also tapasya. So thank you. Hare Krishna. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.